Hi everyone, this week is Parshas B'Shalach. It's also known as Shabbos Shira, and that's because the Az Yashir is found in the Parsha. What's unusual about the way Az Yashir is found in the Torah is that it has many spaces between the words. It looks like a building with bricks. And I remember teaching my students that the reason we have these empty spaces is a Shira is giving praise to God that we can never fully give total praise to God. We can never really complete it, and therefore we have these spaces because they're just words that we don't have, or the tremendous good that God does for us that we just can't express ourselves. So the spaces represent that which is unsaid or that which we cannot give word to. The Sfas Emes says a different idea. He says what we learn from the way Az Yashir is written in the Torah is to teach us about there are two ways of looking at the Torah. One way is when we see the Torah as very superficial, just at the surface, and not appreciating the layers. As a matter of fact, he points out that when the servitude of Egypt, of the Jewish people, begins in Parshas Vayigash, when Yaakov goes down to Egypt, Parshat Vayichi, the following Parsha, the following Torah portion, is closed. There's no space in the Torah. And Rashi elucidates this by telling us the reason it's closed is because the servitude began, and therefore the eyes and hearts of the Jewish people were closed. They couldn't see, they didn't have an opening, they didn't have a space to appreciate their life because they were oppressed. Az Yashir is saying after the sea miraculously splits for the Jewish people by God, they are now fully free from the Egyptian servitude. Now they have space, and now they can sing the Shira. They can sing to God and see beyond the surface. Metaphorically, as the sea splits, we see what's underneath, to see that which is hidden. And I think that's true not only about Torah. We could see Torah is very dry and superficial, or we can see, if we really try to delve into the many layers and nuances of Torah, but we need a sense of freedom. We need a sense of space. We're going through a very difficult time. And sometimes the news out of Israel isn't always good. And it sometimes feels like there's no space to breathe. And it's really hard. I met a man in shul the other day who said, I'm not even sure why I'm in shul. How could this terrible tragedy taking place? How could God allow it? And instead of answering him, I just listened and gave him his space. And the truth is, I don't know, and most of us really don't know. But Az Yashir is to remind us that there is an end to the servitude and oppression, and that we look forward to that day when we have space to appreciate what blessings God has given us. I want to tell you another story from my Cuba trip. We had brought extra food with us, and our non-Jewish tour guide, I decided to give her the 2 extra meals that we had, and they were salmon dinners. I just received a text from her this morning expressing her gratitude, how this was so special, how she shared these meals with her mother, her elderly mother, and her family. It was like a party. And then she sent me a voice message and pictures that this was a big deal, and she expressed her deepest sense of appreciation and gratitude all over a salmon meal, because they don't get that there in Cuba. About giving people space. And I think that's the other lesson. The other lesson is about giving what we have to others allows them to have some space in their life, to breathe, to think. So again, if you like what you hear, please pass it on. I wish everybody Shabbat Shalom, and let's hear some good news from Israel very soon.